You got it going right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Welcome back to the YYesYouCan C2 Brother Radio Show, Real Estate Edition. If you guys want to call up and we could have a little discussion, our number is 708-493-1530. 708-493-1530. So what are we going to say, Dave? We were talking about the Community Reinvestment Act and giving a little bit of background. This subject could go on, I tell you the truth, it could go on
It could go on forever.
Forever,
Absolutely.
but we have some great stuff here. We could continue this on even next week because we're going to have some time to do that.
You know, one thing that we did talk about just briefly over the last week or so was, did the Community Reinvestment Act lead to the housing bubble burst? And after doing some reading, it was not a direct cause of it.
But isn't that what we're hearing on the news?
There's a lot of things that came to the housing bubble burst. One could go back and say the Glass-Steagall Act was part of the problem. We had commingling of investment banking with regular banking.
Yeah, insurance and they were commingling, weren't they?
But when you, after doing some reading, when you get right down to it, what also helped was when the people that were being loaned the money were no longer able to pay for their loan. That was in effect.
That was in effect, that's right.
So if you lose your job, you can't pay your loan, you know, you're...
Well, then why is everyone out there blaming CRA, Community Reinvestment Act? That's what really, no pun intended, bust my bubble. Okay, because you have people actually talking about, oh, it was CRA contributed to the housing bubble, to the housing the depression, and when it really is about jobs that went out, there are jobs that are gone. Okay, that's what happened here. The 111th Congress taking over Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Well, when you have the regulators putting pressure on the
Want to take this call real quick?
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, that's fine.
this is a live call. Okay, caller, are you on the air?
Yeah, hi there.
Hey, what's your name?
Yeah, Wallace.
Hi, Wallace. What's your comment today?
Yeah, just a quick comment on, the idea was that people were afraid of higher crime rates when someone of color, as you put it, would move in and all that. But yet, when you look at neighborhoods like Roseland, that when it changed, when South Chicago and other communities changed, look at the crime rates. They did go up. The people were not all completely wrong. I don't mean this in any racist manner or anything. It's just that statistically, the facts are still there. And 92% of all murders in Chicago are minorities committing murder, unfortunately, to other minorities. So were the people wrong to move out when statistically we do see that the crime rate has risen?
Well, I think what happens with that, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about what they used to mention back there, Nick, white flight. Is that what you're talking about, Wallace?
Sure.
Can you mention that on the air? Go ahead and mention. What's it called?
Yeah.
You could mention white flight. Why don't you just say the word, white flight?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I wasn't just thinking of it, but yeah, sure.
What do they call it, Wallace?
Well, that's it, white flight.
Thank you. And what I'm trying to say here is, see, we like to sugarcoat all these problems. What happened was, unfortunately, people moved out because people of color, Nick, just came in. You live next door to one person of color, and you're like, I'm better sell my house right now. And then you had these, unfortunately, you had these white realtors out there at the time that would basically just come and scare you to death.
You got that right.
You remember those days? Your mom and dad, maybe? You got scared to death?
No, yeah, you got that right. They did. But again, the bottom line is, look at the crime figures in those neighborhoods now. You know, it isn't a one-way thing here. That's all I'm getting at.
All right, it's not a one-way, but this. I'm glad you brought this discussion up because that's we have. We have a 30-minute show next week. We'll be dealing on these topics. I want you to call back or tell your friends. It'd be great.
You guys have a good show. I enjoy it.
All right, thank you, Wallace. You have a great day.
Can I just make a comment on that? I'm aware of a community in the area that a restaurant wanted to move in, and because of the type of restaurant and so-called crime that was associated with that restaurant, there was reasons for not letting that restaurant in the neighborhood. But I can kind of understand that.
Well, I tell you one thing. This is a fascinating topic. We're going to continue with Community Reinvestment Act and throw some other things in, okay, guys? Because 30 minutes went by quite fast. And it's a fascinating topic. I think we only talked about one little brief thing. I tell you, you brought some great comments up there.
Still a 1 hour show.
It's still, yeah. Well, we got a half hour.
Let me quickly mention this community event that's coming up in Westmont, Illinois. It's called the Red, White, and Barbecue. It's hosted by the Westmont Lions Club.
This is the 5th anniversary.
It's the 5th anniversary, and it's going to be over at Time Warner Park, named after the tycoon, the Beanie Babies. If you go to the website westmontbbq.com, you can definitely get full details. It's going to be held Friday, May 27th through Sunday, May 30th, and we're going to have 3 days of free live music, the best barbecue vendors in the Midwest, and all ages carnival, cooking demonstrations, people choice, chili tasting contest. Over 10,000 fans will attend, professional barbecue competition, amateur, and so on. And come on out, give a look-see over at westmontbbq.com. Thank you.
Just want to say hello to Mr. Gentile, the owner of the station, just walked in. Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm very, very well indeed, and I was listening with bated breath to this program, and you were both very great and very interesting. In fact, I got 3 calls, which I have never gotten before. So I don't know what the hell you guys were talking about, but it was a fabulous program, and for that I want to congratulate you. Now, probably when I go back to the apartment, there'll be a couple of messages about the same subject. So what were you guys on?
In a roundabout way, we were talking about the Community Reinvestment Act and how that affects people.
Especially in Chicago neighborhoods, Joe.
Well,
you remember all that.
I remember.
Yeah,
I'm 87 years old.
You know.
What the hell, man? I've been around since dirt. But I'm just telling you that it was a very interesting program, and I can tell by the number of calls that I get in the apartment.
Yes.
So I got more calls on whatever you were talking about than I've ever had here before. So whatever you're going to do, continue on the same vein next week.
Absolutely.
Because I think you've hit a sore spot or a wild spot that I think you can make this a very interesting program. And you know, if you do that, a little controversy, is the best thing in this world on the radio. Controversy.
People do enjoy that.
Legitimate, honest controversy. I don't mean
honest. I like that word.
Well, the word is honest.
It's honest. It was. Yeah.
Listen, that's a word that you're supposed to use. If you are been lucky enough to get powerful enough to own a couple of stations, you better tell the people the truth.
We're tired of lies. We want to hear the truth, right?
Well, that's what everybody wants to hear. And you make everything a success if you tell the people the truth. The truth wins anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So I'm glad I walked in here to congratulate you guys on this great program that you had today, and try maybe to continue on the same vein next week.
I thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. We're going to do that, and we're going to do our utmost best to make you proud of us. And we're
going to. There's no question. You don't have to worry about what I feel, but if I feel that way, then you can rest assured that most of the listeners are going to feel that way as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that when somebody does a job, they should be congratulated.
Thank you.
I mean, that's how you become successful. Truth, and truth always wins out.
Well, thanks for the positive reinforcement there. Mr.
Well, that's
Gentile.
okay. How many weeks have you been on here?
This is our
2
second
weeks.
week now.
So
Thank
you're relatively rookies, but you're coming along pretty well, and I'm proud to have you associated with the station.
Been a pleasure.
What I want you to do is get on subjects that create excitement and a little controversy.
If we know what we're talking about and we can back up that information.
Truth.
Correct.
Truth.
There's no need to lie because it's just a waste of time.
Well, I won't tolerate it on the station.
Well, truth is important because we've been fed a lot of a lot of baloney at times, and it's a shame that we can't talk about the truth. And
Well, when you do talk about the truth, you don't have to worry about down the road.
Well, you know what?
Who
This
did
is
you lie to and what did you lie about?
This is a real estate show, and this real estate show is the essence of every American because real estate's important to us. This is how we create wealth.
Well, let
isn't
me
it?
tell you something. Anybody who ever made any appreciable amount of money made some big deal with real estate. And if they haven't done that, they haven't made the money that they should have made. Because real estate makes one make money and reinvest. And you're really reinvesting in the future. That's what people should know and think about all the time. Reinvesting. I don't care how much money you have. It's what you save and reinvest that counts.
Well, you know what? Next week we're going to be talking about a guy that might be running for president. I think you're going to like this subject about Mr. Real Estate, Mr. Trump.
I love him.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about his properties he owns,
interesting
who he
TV.
backs, what he was. Is he chameleon or isn't he? It's very interesting. He's got a top 10 show on television. He's on radio. He's got these.
I was reading where he was valued at about $3 billion.
Is it?
Yeah, close to you, Joe. But with that said, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Gentile, for allowing us to come on your fine station. Think real estate out there, folks. When you're out there this weekend, kind of glance at some properties for sale. Get involved again, and let's fight these regulators out there that want to take your property away from you and distribute it.
Well, they want to see, you want to get syndications want to take over everything.
Everything.
And you
like
forget
farming.
the individuality of this great country. Individuals made this country. And now syndications are trying to take it away.
Like farming.
Which is a lot of baloney. And we're gonna let that middle guy get back where he belongs.
Thank you, Joe. That's exactly. Let the middle guy get back to where he belongs. It's a great nation that we live in, and let's live it.
Well, you know something, that shows like this that reawaken the American public to what really is going on. And I'm very glad that you have become an integral part of this station, because what you're talking about is what makes will make this country a great success again, and reevaluate what's going on. It's sometimes we have to reinvest and reiterate what made this country so great. Individuality, buying properties, not letting syndications buy up the whole world. Become individuals again, with individual money. So again, let me say this to you, that we welcome you aboard this station, and you know, this is a station of the truth, and that's what you guys exemplify. And for that, I'm very grateful, and I hope and wish that you stay with the station, because we'll always try to help you.
Thank you, Mr. Gentile. And with that said, next week we talk about Trump, a little bit more about CRA. We'll give some tips so when you do buy a property, you can know what you're doing. In the meantime, you guys have yourself a YYesYouCan day, week, and month. Thank you, guys. Bye.
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 Nice show.
Thank you. It was good to meet you.
Why? I'm available. I'm here.
This is
You
this
heard
is Dave.
about Joe Gentile?
Actually, just recently.
You don't know.
No, we know.
But the point of the matter is that what you're talking about are the things that made this country great.
But with that conversation there that we just had, I'm getting a good feeling.
Well, I'm not here to give you a good feeling.
Well,
no,
I'm here to.
Understanding, you asked me, did I know you?
Well, no, I don't care if you know that. That makes no difference. I know what I know.
Right, that's right.
And you know, I didn't serve 50 years in the automobile business
Well, thank you.
and didn't learn anything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go and fight World War II and didn't learn anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm not 87 years old, so I've been around.
Let me tell you something. Talk about real estate deal. Mr. Gentile sold his business at the peak of, right, Mr. Jordan?
Yeah,
Now
I made
that
it.
is forced. That you